What's up everyone, this is Alex. Hartley and Everly, we're in our t-shirts. It is 63 degrees in the greenhouse. It's end of February, the snow's almost gone. Very exciting, we're starting celery today. So I wanted to talk about what we're using. We're using cocoa bale, perlite, vermiculite, some earthworm castings, and some compost from my garden. I'm going to sift it with my compost sifter from my last video, and I will show you how we do this all. Thanks for watching. Here we go. All right, so we have the coconut coir already broken up. I use 2 parts coconut coir, and for my parts I'm using a 5-gallon bucket. You can use a 1-gallon bucket, you can use a cup, whatever you want. 2 parts coconut coir. Now I'm using 1 part earthworm castings, and I just have these left over. You don't have to use those. I'm making my own, so next time I make some, I'll be able to use my own.
That's poop?
No, that's worm poop. You gotta dump it in?
No.
No? All right. 1 part earthworm castings. Using 1 part vermiculite.
No,
Dump it in.
wanted to dump it in.
Okay, you could dump in the perlite. Now for the perlite, I'm using a half bucket, so I don't want it too loose so that the blocks won't stay together. So this is, let me show you how the awesome compost sifter works. This is all the stuff that you don't want in your starting mix. I'm just gonna throw this right in the garden. Now this is pulverized leonardite pronunciation. I looked it up and there's different ways that people pronounce it, but leonardite, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna use about, I'm a ballpark about 7 tablespoons of that. I'm a ballpark it. Now that the last thing I just put in the leonardite, that is to help with the seedlings for nutrient uptake. That's what I'm putting that in for. It's not 100% necessary. Earthworm castings are just as good, but I have it, so we're going to use it. So we're going to mix this up. And this is going to be enough for me to start all my seeds, and I'll probably have some left over for some of my potted plants. So this is my mixture here. This is what it looks like here. So for the wetness, if I wring it out, see how this water's coming out? So that is a good amount of moisture. So if I pat in a ball for the soil block, it stays in a ball. So that's why you don't want to dry, you don't want it soppy wet, just a little bit of wet. So here is my soil mix. And this is a 10, so this will make me all my soil blocks this year, and I'll be able to have enough left over for some potted plants. This whole investment, $75, and I have enough for probably 4 more wheelbarrows. This would probably cost $200 for this much if I have like about 4 or 5 wheelbarrows if you buy bag stuff, if you buy really good bag stuff. That's why for me this is going to be a better process. So this is the soil I have, and let me show you how the soil blocks work. All right, so these bins are good to have to put your soil mix in. This is the soil block maker. I think it'll last you forever. I think it was 20 bucks on Amazon. So it has these little divots here, so when you push them down, it makes holes in your soil, on the top of soil blocks, and that's where you put your seeds in. So all you're gonna do is you just push the soil, work the soil back and forth to get it in there. Now, you have to use a tray that has no holes on it, and I saw this trick from the Gardener Scott channel. Because there's slots in here, sometimes the soil blocks will sometimes break down. You put this cardboard in here, get it wet, and you can set your soil blocks on top, and also you could fill the tray with some water and it'll absorb into the cardboard, and then that will absorb into the soil blocks. All right, so work these back and forth so I get some good soil, and I'll let Everly do the first one, and I'm starting 2, 4, 6 seeds. So I'll have 2 extra soil blocks. And all you're gonna do is, Everly, go ahead.
Do I push it down?
You're gonna push this down. This part.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
So all you do is push. Let go. So this is your soil blocks right here. That's your soil block. Now I'm going to set. I don't want them right touching each other, just because if I get roots growing through here, sometimes one root will grow through here and jump through the soil blocks. You ready? Push. Okay, good. Let go. There we go. And that is going to be our soil blocks. Okay, so I'm starting.
How much are you going to make?
3 celeries. I'm starting celery golden, celery tender crisp, and celery Utah. And most important thing when you start seeds, labels. I learned this the hard way. You will say to yourself, I'll remember which one is which. Then you will forget. Stop. Then you will forget, and you don't know what you have. All right, who wants to do one? Open your hand. And these seeds are tiny, so.
They're so tiny.
They're really tiny. So you're gonna just sprinkle in just this one. Put a couple more. Okay, good. And then put some right in there. A couple more. Just one more. All right, good. We'll put those back in there. All right. Then we will take a little bit of soil, cover it up right here. Don't pat it too hard so it won't break. And then that one was the tender crisp. So we're going to do celery tender crisp. Celery tender crisp. All right. All right, see, he's tiny, just so it's super tiny. So just sprinkle a couple right there. Now once the celery starts getting a root system, it will hold these blocks together a lot easier. Now the beauty of these are you won't have any root-bound plants. So the issue with root-bound plants are when you start them in the trays, the roots will just spin around in a circle, and then that's why when you take your starts out, there's just a big root clump. And what will happen is when you put them in the soil, it'll take a week or 2 for those roots to realize that it's not in a small tray, and then they'll start spreading out. And that'll cost you about a week of growing. With these will air prune, so as the roots will grow out, once the roots hit air, they'll just kind of die back. So when you plant them in the ground as a whole soil block, the roots are already spreading out naturally, so they're off to a strong start. So then they'll just naturally just keep spreading. So that's pretty much it. This week is just celery, and in a week or 2, we'll start a bunch of other crops. That's it for this video for today. Thanks for watching.